Welcome back. It is Tuesday, April 18th, and I have completed my first Nancy Drew in the Nancy Drew Mini-a-thon. And this is 2 Points to Murder by Carolyn Keene. This is number 8 in the Case File series. And this basically follows Nancy Drew as she and Ned get into a bit of a tiff because she has been hired to figure out who is playing practical joker pranks on the basketball team that's causing the basketball team a lot of stress. So they're stressed during games, they're in sights to go to the NCAA tournament as long as they win these next couple of games. And this practical joker seems to be not only targeting the basketball team, but also making them very fretful, very stressed out, so that they begin losing their leads in games. And it always seemed to happen in the second half. What's interesting about this book is that Nancy has a pretty solid lead on a team member of this basketball team, and apparently that person is Ned's best friend, and he is like, it's not him, and she's like, I'm not thinking with emotion, I'm thinking about the evidence, these are the facts, and the facts state that he is the one doing it. And while I'm still going to investigate to make sure that the facts ring true, as of right now, he is a suspect. She's not saying that he did it, she's not saying that she won't investigate more, but Ned is adamant that being a detective has ruined her, and she no longer knows how to interact with humanity, and she can't ever trust anybody. And the whole time I'm reading this, Ned has never been anything. Ned is not Ken. Ned is trash. He's always been trash. He has always been a hanger-on of her coattails, and they're trying to hold him up to this higher standard, and that he's right about her emotions and how she handles things. And boy, bye Ned. Fucking bye. Are we serious? 150 pages of wondering if Ned is right about you? You are fucking Nancy Drew. Who is he? Nobody. In the TV show, what does Ned do? Assist her dad. Ned is no one. What is that TikTok sound? He's not the love of your life. He's just a guy. Hit it with your car. What are we even talking about here? I'm giving this 4 carrots. It would have been 5, but Ned was so fucking annoying in this. And I'm over him. She deserves way better. She's a badass boss bitch. And Ned's a pussy. He just made me so mad. I cannot even quantify how over Ned I am. I'm so excited to see what's next because I'm ready for Nancy to get her groove. Stella got her groove back. I'm ready for Nancy to go out, solve some more mysteries, flirt with some new boys. I'm ready. Bye, Ned. The fact that this whole overarching theme with her and Ned over the mystery, the entire time I was like, yo, who cares? What the fuck is Ned? Nothing and nobody. So this one's finished. The next Nancy Drew I'm going to read is probably Stay Tuned for Danger. This is also game 1 or 2 of the Nancy Drew her interactive game series, and I got the first 2 games when I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I didn't know they were based off these book series. So now I want to go back and play some of the games, and I probably will. But this is probably what I'm going to read next for the Nancy Drew. Welcome back. It is Thursday, the 20th. I have finished another Nancy Drew novel. This is Stay Tuned for Danger. This is Case File 17. And this follows Nancy and Bess on an adventure in New York, where they're invited for a vacation by Nancy's aunt Eloise. But when they arrive, they realize that Eloise is here, has called them there to have them look into some interesting events that have occurred at the studio she works at. And this studio is currently broadcasting the hottest soap opera right now. And Eloise's neighbor happens to be the female lead in that television program. And she is very, very concerned for her co-star's safety, the male lead. His name is Rick Arlen. A couple of things have occurred so far, a scribbled up photo, some spiked chocolates, but she's afraid that it's going to get much worse, and to her credit, it does. Like, the escalation of this stalker is wild, but I don't want to tell you too much about that because that'll spoil it. The characters were interesting. This moved very, very fast. Like, the escalation was crazy. We had spiked chocolate to a scribbled up photo to a cut like key light to like physical situations, and then it just escalated from there. Like the line was not subtle, it was just a straight fume, and they were crazy. It was nuts. I'm gonna give this one 4 carrots. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. It didn't really grab me like the other 2 grabbed me. Like, Recipe for Murder, Design something or other, I'll put the title right here. Those 2 were 5 carrots, like immediate, I couldn't wait to get to the end, like what the heck is going on, who is doing this kind of books. The last 2 books that I have read for the Nancy Drew series, they've been fine, they just haven't been it. They just haven't been it. And it is what it is. Sometimes you just don't come across any 5 carrots, and that is what it is. So the next book on the Nancy Drew list is Whitewater Terror, followed by Playing with Fire, hopefully followed by The Mystery Train, Super Mystery with the Hardy Boys. Hopefully these will round out the Nancy Drew Readathon, especially since it is now the 21st and there are only 7 days, a full week, until her birthday, which is the deadline cutoff for this mini readathon. So I'm hoping that I can get at least these 5 read. If I can get more read, cool, but at least these 5 is the goal. So yeah, it's super hot. I'm gonna go settle down and read some more, because I still have 4 books left on the Lady Solvers Readathon, and time is running out. So let's see how many of those I can get down. And since Nancy's are easy, like I generally can finish these in a couple of hours, especially if I'm at work. If I'm not at work, then like an hour, hour and a half. And then a book Monday, since I don't really have any plans other than getting my nails done because they are grossly overgrown. And they're getting downright dangerous at this point. So other than that, I don't really have any plans. And then I believe the 28th is a Thursday, because the 24th is Monday. Yeah, so the 28th is a Thursday. Her birthday will be Thursday. Can you believe that Nancy Drew will be 93 this year? And I'm excited to see if I can get to the rest of them. I am worn out though, so I'm gonna piece it. Hey! Today is Wednesday, the 26th, and I have completed Whitewater Terror, and this is a twofer because, like, the day before I finished Playing with Fire, and I was just so tired I didn't do a review, so you're gonna get both of these, and then we are 1 day before Nancy's 93rd birthday, and we only have 1 book left, and this is the Mystery Train Adventure. So once this is done, I will have successfully completed the Nancy Drew mini readathon, which is great because it does not look like I am going to wind up completing the Lady Solvers marathon. There are still, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm currently reading by the time you read this, I'll be gone. And then all that's left is... Yeah, because I read CJ and Ron. Okay, so the only books that are left in the marathon are The Ivies and 5 Survive. But both of those are like over 400 pages. And there are only 3 more days, give or take, of the month. And I don't think that I'm going to finish them. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to take a small break from making TBRs and just kind of read whatever I'm feeling in the moment. It's not that they were feeling like homework, but it was close. I don't ever want it to feel like it's something that I have to do instead of what I wish I was doing instead. So I'm going to take a small break. But let's get back to Nancy. So today, the 27th, I finished reading Whitewater Terror, which is case 6. This one was wild. The escalation, unhinged. Every chapter, something wild was occurring, and it was always one step more wild than this chapter before. So in this one, George wins a contest that allows her to take 3 other people on a rafting trip. Like, I know that this is supposed to be like the 80s, the 90s, people were more trusting, but I cannot help but ask myself, is it because I'm black? Because how do you win a contest that you don't remember entering, mind you, and then all of a sudden not only do you win, but you can take 3 other people? Wouldn't you remember a contest that allowed you to bring 4 guests? You know what I mean? Like, I know I read a lot of mysteries. I know that I am slightly more observant than, a regular Joe. I understand that I might be thinking about things in a more critical way than the rest of the world does. But this whole book could have been avoided. It all could have been avoided. So, she wins this trip. Ned, George, Nancy, and Bess are all in attendance. They are going to Montana. They take this plane. It's horrible. They arrive. The person that's supposed to meet them there to drive them there isn't there, so they get a rental car. Then inside of this envelope that was there, instead of the person, they get these hastily drawn ass instructions, like directions, like a map. First off, you win in a contest that lets you bring 4 people, but you gonna follow a handwritten map to where you're supposed to be? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the clues were there. They were there. I don't understand. So then they follow these hastily drawn, shitty ass directions and almost end up going off a cliff. Was that on purpose? Who knows? But the barricade that's supposed to be blocking that very dangerous stretch of road, it's covered under brush. To me, that means my ass don't belong there. Nobody wants me there. Heard. I'm gonna hop back on that plane and turn around. But for the gang, let's go, guys. You know what I mean? Like, is it because I'm black? Is it? Because absolutely not. So then they meet the crew, who is the most ragtag group of people. This is supposed to be an international contest, but everybody seems to be from the Montana area. They only have 2 rafts for like 8 people. That seems wild to me. If you got that many people, wouldn't it be easier to do 4 rafts? Or maybe 3 rafts? That way you have somebody who is trained in that sort of thing, and then you got the people. Because, I mean, putting all those people in a raft, to me, I've never been water rafting. That shit is dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, all those bodies, that seems like a dangerous idea to do. Again, maybe it's just me. And as they hit the road, things go nuts. Rafts get unplugged and plunge into the ocean. Rafts are stabbed up. Items are missing. People are going through items. Every single person on this trip is suspicious. Hello, Momo-chan. Suspicious. Every single one. You don't even know what the mystery is. You just know that you don't trust a single one of these mofos that ain't in the Core 4. Then when you find out what actually is going on, phew, escalation, straight up. Straight up. It might as well be a rocket. It was wild. I'm giving this one 4 carrots. The next one that I want to talk to you about is Playing with Fire. And while this one was crazy too, like the escalation was wild, I didn't like this one as much as the rest of them. There is an arsonist running around Los Angeles, torching Napoleon-esque historical items. Right before the items go up into flames, they receive a letter demanding $1 million. And that's why they're in LA, because who else has $1 million just up for grabs? And they have to give it up in 24 hours or their shit gets blazed. And the things that are getting blazed, there's no evidence, there's no residue. They don't even have what's starting the blazes. So Nancy is brought in to not only find out what's going on, but to keep it under wraps, because the company that she's brought in for, they are having money troubles. So they're trying to keep their public image as squeaky clean as possible. Is the guy that hired her guilty? Is it the other people that are losing Napoleon-esque items? This one was a doozy. It was kind of like, oh, hey, there's an extortionist. Oh, hey, there's an arsonist. Oh, hey, now we're burning dresses with people in them. Like, it was wild. It was nuts. As always, there's a male suspect in here that one of the cousins, either George or Bess, has fallen for, and she's really, really hoping that he's not the bad guy. If I was them, I would be single forever, because being friends with Nancy, I can't trust a single one of those mofos. Not a single one. No, I don't want to dance with you. No, I don't want to go on a date with you. This one was wild. I gave this 3.5 carrots. The last book on our list is the Super Mystery. And this is Mystery Train. And I'm so excited to revisit Joe Frank. Well, you know which one is my favorite. I can't wait to revisit Frank and Joe and see what they're up to. It's always a fun time when you have both the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew in a mystery. That's why I was so partial to that television show. It's definitely one of my favorites that I literally go back and rewatch it any chance that I get. But yeah, so this is the last book on the list. We have one more day. Friday is her birthday. She'll be 93. And this one is a little bit thicker than the other ones. It's 220 pages. So the other ones probably range about 150. So 50 to get to 200. So about 70 more pages in this one. So I'm hoping I'm still going to be able to complete it in a day's time. And that will wrap up the Nancy Drew mini readathon. And I hope you guys have been keeping up with all of the teasers for the new Nancy Drew game, because I have, and I'm so excited. Alrighty, I gotta go so I can start this one, since there's 70 extra pages that I need to get through before Friday, and I will see you guys next time. It is now after midnight. It is Friday, the 28th of April. Happy birthday, Nancy Drew. This is the end of the Nancy Drew mini readathon, and I've got some things to say. First, I was really disappointed because I didn't have enough time to complete the Super Mystery Train. I only got about 4 chapters in. This week has been hectic, to say the least, and I was really looking forward to being able to complete at least one of my readathons, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, because I put this dress on so that I had something cute to wear when I filmed this video, and guess what I found in the pocket? I cannot tell you the last time I wore this dress, by the way. I don't even think it's been worn this year. Okay? So keep that in mind. $200 in cash. $206 in cash in the left pocket. Just chilling. Just straight chilling in the pocket. So, like, I want to say that I'm, you know, disappointed in myself and I wasn't able to finish my books and I really need to be better with time management, and all of these things are true. But am I sad at this particular moment in time? No. I just found $206. And I always say that, you know, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. I don't know what it is about this year, but my luck isn't changing. And, bruh, I just found $206 in my pocket. In a random pocket. What the fuck? My brain. I'm so scatterbrained now. I can't even remember what we were talking about. Nancy Drew. Okay, so I wasn't able to finish the Nancy Drew Super Mystery with Hardy Boys. This one's called Mystery Train. I am going to read it. I just wasn't able to finish it before the deadline. I did, however, get these 4 books finished, and I wanted to show up and be like, hey, happy birthday, Nancy Drew, because, dude, you're like 93, and I can't believe that you are still so popular. Like, I'm so happy to be a part of this fandom and still have novels to read and people to talk to and introductions in the series. Like, it's still just such a great time. So I just wanted to hop on here, let you know that we have, today's the 28th, so 28th, 29th, 30th. We have 3 more days to see if I can complete. By the time you read this, I'll be gone, because I'm like 70% of the way through, like almost 80, so I'm almost done. I just haven't been able to finish it. I know for a fact that I am not going to be able to complete 5 Survive and the Ivies before the deadline, but again, I'm not too torn up about it because I chose 8 books that had a lot of fucking pages, and I read, by the time this goes up and by the time the end of the readathon goes on, I'll have read 5 out of those 8 books. And even without finishing any more books, I am currently at 30 books for the year, and my goal for the year was 65. So I'm pretty proud of myself because I'm practically halfway there, and it's just now the end of April. And even in this month alone, I still finished quite a few novels. So I had the 4 novels for... No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so I finished 5 novels out of what I wanted to read this month. And if I do wind up completing, by the time you read this, I'll be gone, then that's 6 out of 8 novels. That's pretty damn good. I'm not going to be upset at myself for that. Plus, I read a R.L. Stine, so that makes 7 books. Plus, I read 4 Nancy Drews, so that's 11. The most books read in a month was 12. So, I mean, I'm not too disappointed in myself. I feel pretty proud, even though I didn't complete those books. So, you know, I'm still going to read it. I'm still interested in finishing it. And I think I'm going to take a break from readathons for May and June. I think we're going to make those mood reading, because there are books that I've gotten in that I haven't been able to read because I've been on TBRs and I've been focused on those, and I want to read them. So I'm just going to take a bit of a break, and then maybe I'll start back up on my birthday month. I'm sure I'm going to get around to finishing those. And even if I don't, 6 out of 8 books is pretty darn good. And for the Nancy Drew, I did 4 out of 5, so I can't beat myself up too bad. So that's all I really had to say. I have some B-roll footage and some fandom stuff that I have photographed over the years that I'm going to slide in here so you can see that all the love that I have for Nancy Drew. Thanks so much for listening to me ramble. I'm the Ink Bunny, and I will see you next time. Sleuth on.